gold. That's what it's about right there, guys. Found our first piece of gold. Gold right there, guys. Hi guys, John Davis here. We're here today to introduce our new product, Sluice Fox. It is a plastic injection molded sluice box. We've got molded in V matting. We've got Hungarian style riffles with miner's moss underneath. Proven gold catching technology. It is rugged, reliable. We're going to show you the expandability and the usability out on the river. So come on, let's go do it. With the plastic injection molding process, they do use a releasing agent on the mold to make sure it pops out, which is kind of an oily substance. So what you're going to want to do when you first get it, get yourself some good dish soap and a scrubbing pad, get in there, scrub it all out real good, make sure you've removed all the oils from it. Some people like to season all their plastic stuff. I've used mine without it and done very good. But if you want to season it, you can get some light sandpaper, rough up the plastic on it, or you can just go down to the river, grab a handful of sand and rough it up that way if you're one of those that likes to season it. About 2 pounds, nice and light. This is, as it is a single right here, makes for a great prospecting sluice if you're going out just testing your material someplace. Or you can, we'll hook them together and you can run production on them. And I'm going to show you guys that here in a little bit, how we attach them all together to make different configurations. So I'm going to show you how to set your Sluice Fox up in the river. There you go. That's it. Well, there's a little more to it than that, but that's basically most of it. So first off, guys, we're going to give you a quick setup instructions for your Sluice Box. Now, Sluice Boxes, there's a general rule of thumb. That is 1 inch of drop per length of per foot of length on your Sluice Box. This is a 2-foot Sluice Box without the flare, so we should have about 2 inches of drop on our Sluice Box. So I'm going to get this set up out here. Now I picked this spot here. It happened to be a great little spot. We got low water flow coming over it. It's pretty much got a good angle for us already. I'll probably have to prop the back up just a little bit, but we've got the light flow going over it. But you'll be able to adjust it yourself out there. I'm going to show you how this will work in other situations. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and drop this in. Now, you can see our water flow up top pretty deep. That's way too deep for what I like it. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be bringing it up a bit. To get that up, I'm just going to grab a couple rocks, put underneath the flare. We'll just raise that up some. And there we go. Now I like to see a nice, I like about anywhere from about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of water flowing down on this. It's got a little bit more angle than what we'd like. So I'm going to kick a little of that angle out. All I got to do for that, to just that, I'm going to lift this up, put a little rock underneath the back until we get that set. So once you get your Sluice Box set and you think you got it set to where you want to be, you want to go ahead and put a rock on top of it. We don't want that to move on us. So that'll go ahead and that'll hold it. So as we're feeding our material, it's not going to float out on us. So one of the important steps to running a Sluice Box is to making sure your material is classified down. We don't want to be running unclassified material with big rocks and stuff. We don't want those rocks bouncing down our Sluice Box, possibly knocking our gold out and making it go out the back. So what we're going to do, we're going to classify our material down to a certain size. I'm classifying to a 1/4 inch myself here, just because in our area we don't have large gold nuggets, so I'm not worried about gold nugget bigger than a 1/4 inch getting missed in my classifier. But 1/4 inch, you can classify up to a 1/2 inch. I wouldn't suggest anything larger than a 1/2 inch through your Sluice Box, but 1/2 inch is about standard. 1/4 inch, the smaller the material, the better it's going to run through there. But 1/4 inch is going to be more than satisfactory for what we're doing today. We're making sure it's all less than a 1/4 inch, everything going through there. I'm going to clean out all these roots real good. They have a tendency to catch gold. That's your nature's miner's moss. So I'll get those roots cleaned out good. Just shake that off. And there, so we've cleaned out everything over a 1/4 inch. The material we have left in our bucket, it's all going to be small, less than 1/4 inch stuff, which we're going to run through our Sluice Box. I spoke before about your drop, proper drop on a Sluice Box, 1 inch per foot of Sluice Box. It's a 2-foot Sluice Box, so I have approximately 2 inches of drop to it. Now that can be, depending on your water flow, that can be a little bit more, a little bit less. If you have less water, you may have to put a little bit more angle in there to make sure your material keeps moving. What you're mainly looking for when you guys get it set up, you should have this nice strong V up here. You should see the water rising over your riffle systems there. What that's going to do, every one of those places, this V, every place where it comes up, it's making a low pressure area for the gold to drop out. You're keeping all your riffles in play, keeping all that V matting in play. You can see that water's running over that V matting good. I've got probably between maybe a ½ inch to an inch of water running through there, which is good. Depending on your material, if it's not moving fast enough, you may have to add a little more pitch to your box or add a little more water flow through. Well, we found our first piece of gold. I don't know if you guys can see it, we'll zoom in on it, but it's right down at the bottom of the O in Sluice Fox. We got our nice V here. We can see we got our rises over our riffles. Everything looks like it's staying nice and active in there. You want to see all the sand and everything being active, moving around. So again, this is a small Sluice Fox. It's only 6 inches wide, 2 feet long, so we're not going to be able to feed it quite the rate that we would feed our normal Sluice Fox. So we're going to feed it a little slower. But what we want to see is our material moving down through the box, sliding right down along the bottom, staying active, dragging over all those parts that are catching the gold. Hopefully you shouldn't see stuff building up too much. It also shouldn't just be blowing straight on by. You should watch. If you notice behind those riffle trays, I've got some sand, but if I give it 5 seconds, you can now start to see the gray miner's moss there. So it's clearing out good, it's running well. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna feed some more material through and see. We've already caught 1 piece of gold, so we know that it's working there, and then we'll go ahead and run the rest of this bucket through. We're gonna attach a couple of these together. We're gonna show you what I'm talking about here. So I'm gonna take one, I've got one Sluice Fox already there. I'm gonna take another. We're gonna hook it up. Boom. We now got a 4-foot Sluice Fox. If you're dealing with small gold and you guys need that extra amount of riffle tray to be catching all your small flower gold and stuff, you can add these. You could add as many of these as you wanted. I mean, you could, as long as you kept buying them, I guess you could make a mile-long Sluice Box if you wanted it, 2 foot at a time. But look at that, we've already, just by there, we've already doubled the amount of riffle trays we've got in action. Now, when they do slide together, we're gonna suggest, guys, when you're putting your rocks down and stuff, try and put your rock over the top of that junction right there. It's going to keep them nice and tight together. Doing that just so we don't want any of them to rise up, come apart on you in the middle. But there we go. We got 4 foot right there, 6 inches, and I'll run some material through. We're going to see how that works. Running down 4 feet of Sluice Box now. And you can see that material all the way through, staying active all the way down. Look how good those riffle trays are working down there, especially right now, once they get that extra speed of that water running down there. So again, it's going to increase your speed down your riffle tray. I just threw this together. You can see I got a little slant on it. I would fix it better than that. But other options we're going to go with now. So you want to run it like a regular Sluice Box. You don't want to run a little box. So I'm going to go ahead and take this flare off. Now, there is a little gap at the front. We know about that flare. But if you notice, we also have a trap right there. This trap will catch any of this black sand that might possibly get caught at the front, will get caught in that lower one. So you will need to clean your flare out later when you do that. But don't worry about any gold you see getting caught at that front edge right there. If you got a couple little pieces getting stuck there, they will get caught down into that little groove right there, that sand trap. So that works out really good. And now, we'll put them together side by side. Push it down good. Boom. Now I set it out. I got a wide Sluice Box now. So if you want to process some more material, throw a scoop on that side. Let that clean. Throw a scoop on that side. Let that clean. That side's cleaned out. We can refeed that and go across it. I see no reason why, if you wanted to, I'm gonna grab another just to, for example, we'll go ahead and we'll throw one more of these in here. Seems like a line up. For me, I have to be able to line slots up, and I'm challenged. There we go, we got 3 wide. Basically at that point, I'm gonna show you what I believe you could be doing. At this point, we should be able to grab our shovel or class 5 material, start working. So it's going to allow us the opportunity to run a lot more material faster. You can see how quick those are cleaning out. And I just threw those down, guys. I didn't even set my angle or nothing, but you can see it's working good. If you wanted to add more, you could go 6. You could make this, you could take up an entire stream wide if you wanted to. But you have the option there. We can also, again, if you're dealing with that small gold, again, show you how quick these things come apart. Those of you guys dealing with that flower gold, there we go. Now normally I would definitely not have that last riffle be hanging in the water like that. But you can see, if I can find a spot where it'll still work. But you could run right there. There's a 6-foot long sluice box. Dealing with that flower gold, you want to have a lot of time for that gold to get caught. You could stack these up. Okay, guys, so not everybody has a big wide creek like this. I'm going to demonstrate on this little offshoot right here. I know a lot of you guys deal with these creeks that have a little tiny bit of flow. This is what's perfect. 6 inches wide. As you can see, say this is your creek flow, your normal creek flow. You can't get a big sluice box in there. There's not going to be enough water to run. Boom, we drop our sluice box in. You look how much. I'm only using half of what's coming down there. Getting a great flow through there. So again, guys, great for small creek prospecting where you have low flow, little bits of water. Yeah, we are finding gold today. It's time for a clean out. See what we got for the day. We're going to gently lift the top of it up. Let the water run out. Try not to let your material fall out. Boom, in a bucket. Just like that, guys. That quick. Now, I'm going to take this flare off easily. There's a good chance we could have caught some gold up in there, so we're going to remove this. I'm going to get that down in the box there so we can clean that out too. Use our gold pan. We're going to wash down as much as we can. Begin with, get those riffle trays cleaned out. There we go. We get our B matting clean. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a screwdriver to go ahead and pop the riffle trays out. We're going to remove our miner's moss, get that down in the bucket. I'm going to wash that down, and then I'm going to remove our other riffle tray. We're going to make sure that the sluice is completely clean. All our concentrates are in the bottom. We're going to rinse out our miner's moss real good down in there, and then we'll pan out our concentrates, see what we end up with. Okay, so we're going to shake it back and forth, make sure we're stratifying everything, getting all the gold to drop to the bottom. It's 19 times heavier than water, heavier than anything else in the pan. Should go right at the bottom. We're just going to wash our top light stuff off, shake it back down again, make sure we're leaving that down at the bottom. I'm going to give it a few taps, so it'll bring my gold up to that front edge. Once again, we're just going to let that light stuff just wash off the top. And we'll go back and repeat the process. You should end up with pretty much all black sand by the time you're done. Gold right there, guys. Thanks again for choosing Sluice Fox. I hope you find a lot of gold. Heavy pans to everybody out there, and we'll see you on the river.